matter in case, in consideration, would request, honestly, that the Kenyans deserve respect and not spite. And in this matter, they do deserve an apology.
While acknowledging the food shortage due to the drought ravaging some parts of the country, the bishop called on the government to ensure there is food security.
So this current famine, we believe, is a result of poor strategy and planning generally, that in our country we have been crisis managing and not planning properly. We urge all Kenyans, all experts in food, in logistics, in agriculture, let's put our minds together. That's what we need to discuss, so as to find the right path. How and how much of GMO engagement will we go to? How much will we focus on the production? How much will we focus on other areas, storage, and even how do we focus especially to water harvesting, the runoff? All those are the conditions, what we should be discussing in an open forum, bringing all the experts and minds that we have in our nation to find solution. We shouldn't trivialize serious matters like food security or GMO or famine. A multi-sectoral collaboration in the distribution of the food that is meant to be relief for those who have faced famine. A multi-sectoral, because corruption is a big issue that makes agriculture non-profitable and that makes even this famine and assistance and relief not completely realize efficiency.
The Archbishop has meanwhile rallied Kenyans to give generously towards those affected by the effects of the ravaging drought.
Let us be generous. Let us be generous to help our brother and sister. Let us not just stand by. Give the little contribution you have, give the little food, using whichever avenue of famine relief you feel comfortable with. Give even using your churches, your places of worship. We have here in Nyeri started the Hope for You, the initiative helping those who are very needy. But you as a Kenyan, you can do something with your neighbors, in your community, in your churches, in whatever, but don't sit watching our brothers and sisters suffering.
On Sunday, Azimio la Umoja One Kenya Coalition Party leader Raila Odinga also castigated the move by government to import GMO maize, saying that GMOs will have adverse effects on people's health and destroy the ecosystem. Reporting for Hope TV News Watch, I'm Tess Njenga.
Thank you so much, Tess, for that report. Now, the owner of the building that collapsed and killed 2 people in Ruaka, Kiambu County last week has been arrested at the Jomo Kenyatta International Airport while attempting to leave the country. Detectives from the Directorate of Criminal Investigations reportedly arrested 59-year-old Jennifer Kamau before she boarded a flight to Texas in the United States of America. The woman was, however, taken ill and rushed to a city hospital by DCI officers where she is receiving treatment. Now, according to Kiambu County Commissioner Joshua Nkanatha, the suspect has been in hiding for the last 4 days. Another building collapsed early Monday morning after cracks were noted last night, and the over 100 tenants evacuated successfully. Nkanatha says officers from the national government have joined the county government in forming a multi-agency team that will move around the entire county to inspect the state of the buildings so as to prevent such scenarios from recurring in the future. Now, the commissioner affirmed that the owner, engineers and county officials may be charged due to the deaths and damage to the properties. Moving on, motorists and border operators have been urged to be cautious on the roads as the country gears up for the Christmas holidays. The Thika Low Coast Chief Magistrate Stella Atambo has warned that the judiciary will not tolerate rogue drivers and reckless riding by border operators, saying every road user must take responsibility to save lives. Here's Dolly Murigi Mbovi with more on that story.
Kenyans continue to lose their lives to road accidents, with many left nursing injuries, despite the police and the National Transport and Safety Authority (NTSA) talking tough. And as the country gears up for the festive season, motorists and the border operators have been cautioned on safety. Anne Wanjiru, a resident of Kiumbini, is yet to heal after she was knocked down by a drunk cyclist and broke her leg. Wanjiru said she did not seek legal redress since the motorcycle was not insured. She is now urging Boda Boda operators to take care of their passengers and is further appealing to the judiciary to help victims get timely justice.
Ukiendesha pikipiki, jaribu tafadhali usiwe mlevi, beba watu wenye wanafaa, and be careful kwa barabara kwa sababu mnatuumiza sisi wenye hatuna mapikipiki. Nimeteseka sana na hizo bills za hospitali. Niko na mtoto wako shule, niko na huyo mdogo, sasa ilibidi nikaandikana na mwenye hata nimeandika pia mimi anani stress kulipa juu naona siko kazi.
Speaking in Thika, Chief Magistrate Stella Atambo said due to the backlog and delay of traffic compensation cases where victims have spent years in search of justice, the judiciary has introduced small claim courts where cases attracting less than 1 million shillings in penalties will be heard and determined within a 6-month duration.
We now have small claims court where any claimant with a claim less than 1 million can move the court in a very simplified form by filling a form and just get assisted filing their claim, serve. Within 60 days the case is heard and determined. So the rest now, once the judgment is out, is for the insurance company.
She however pointed out technicalities that occasioned the delay of the compensation in the cases, blaming some lawyers and respondents, especially insurance companies, for the delaying tactics that make it impossible for the judiciary to deliver justice on time.
Insurance companies need to come on board. They need to get realistic about the claims we are having in court. Why am I saying this? Take a case of a claimant who was a matatu passenger, and this matatu was involved in an accident. When we are talking about who's to blame, this passenger was just seated and an accident happened. Is it not obvious that the owner of the vehicle or the driver or both of them is responsible? If we start from that point of view, then on the issue of liability, parties are even able to record what we call a consent.
Christopher Wanjao, NTSA Director of Registration and Licensing, said the authority will also push for the introduction of a curriculum in schools to train learners on road safety measures as one way to help reduce accidents.
On the issue of introducing curriculum in primary schools, that's very important, so that our children are trained or are enlightened on traffic rules, traffic regulations, and what they are supposed to do, especially basics like closing the road. Because nowadays, if you ask a pupil on what they are supposed to do when closing the road, they cannot explain. And that was there in the old curriculum, and that's why it is important to introduce road safety in school curriculum, so that those things are inculcated to our pupils when they are still very young.
Dolly Murikimbovi for Hope TV, Nairobi.
Thank you so much, Dolly, for that report. Now, that story by Dolly takes us to a first commercial break. See you after this short break.
Every Wednesday at 7:30 p.m. Spotlight.
Do you feel that they are in a place where they can effect a Barack Obama moment?
When you hear the word of God and you hear Jesus is speaking.
Real talk on real issues.
You know the Bible says faith without works is dead.
The truth of the gospel that will survive the time is not a health and wealth gospel.
When there is time to harmonize and bring one composite amendment.
With idealistic, thought-provoking guests.
So people come to be serviced, to be encouraged, to be empowered.
When the storm is over, you desire the closeness you have with God.
Hosted by Reverend Edward Furi.
Ensuring good health and promoting well-being of all people is important in building a prosperous society. On Health Check, you get informed and empowered on various medical conditions, their treatment and preventive measures.
When you ignore gum disease, then the same tooth will start to appear slightly longer.
You also get your health question answered live by our doctors in studio.
The medication she's receiving is for the nostrils.
This child should be feeding enough to gain weight.
And you do a little bit of exercise. It even helps with the breast milk.
If you feel like you have an instinct that things aren't quite where they should be for your child, the onus is on you to seek an evaluation.
This is to help you make best choices about your health and your well-being. Stay tuned for brand new episodes of Health Check with me, Grace Mutiso, every Tuesday on Hope TV. Look and live.
Welcome back. You're watching Hope TV News Watch. Now, Police Constable Anne Wanjiku Waigwa, who returned a bag carrying 2.4 million shillings and other valuables to its owner, a British tourist at the Wilson Airport, has been awarded. The police constable won a full academic scholarship and a merit award at the International Leadership University during the university's graduation on Saturday. Speaking while issuing the award to Waigwa, ILU Vice Chancellor Dr. Tim Kiruhi noted that integrity, although costly, pays handsomely in the future. Inspector General of Police Wilson Airport OCS and other police officers were present to witness as the constable received the award. The story of Wanjiku returning the money to the British tourists sparked mixed reactions from the public, with some Kenyans congratulating her for the move while others criticized for not seizing the opportunity to enrich herself.
Today, this awardee will receive not only a recognition here in terms of a certificate and plaque, but as we thought about how we might make this a significant award, we've also decided to journey with her personally, I'm already giving a hint as a lady, in her journey towards academic growth. I believe by the grace of God that will be worth more than 2.4 billion shillings. Because that again is a message you're trying to pass, that it is possible to be a person of integrity even in a country like Kenya. And that integrity, although costly, pays handsomely in the future.
Now, President Teodoro Obiang of Equatorial Guinea has staged a vote to extend his 43-year rule. The 80-year-old president, who seized power from his uncle in a coup in the year 1979, has since regularly won more than 90% of the vote conducted over the course of 5 terms. Opposition figure Andres Ondo, who is running for the first time, has however said he will oppose the vote results in court. Obiang, who closed his campaign on Friday, said he had decided to bring the presidential election forward by several months and hold it together with the legislative and municipal elections to save money due to the economic crisis facing the tiny country, where once plentiful oil wealth has been in a rapid decline.
Only God can turn a mess into a message.
I have a boy on a wheelchair.
Yeah.
I'm still preaching on the pulpit.
Amen.
Niliona mguu ya nyuma inakuja tu kunikanyaga, imenilenga tu kwa tumbo. Nikaitana tu Jesus.
I got tired of working with the x-ray papers, and one day I just woke up and decided to burn them.
A test into a testimony.
The whole community didn't want to hear that anybody is born again. Excommunicated, straight.
Bila Yesu hakuna njia.
Join Sharon Naitore Wangenye on Testify.
Katika hiyo harakati hiyo spirit kakemewa, mimi nimeona Yesu Kristo namna hii. Kwa msalaba. Opa. Hallelujah. Hallelujah.
Every Thursday at 8 p.m. for a moment to grow your faith some more.
And now let's get down to business. The Sitam Business Forum Meru chapter has been launched at the Christ is the Answer Ministries Meru Assembly Under the theme Raising Kingdom Finances, the two-day function that ended on Sunday, which is meant to help Christians embrace business and in turn raise kingdom finances, saw the Meru business community showcase their products in exhibition booths. The church leaders emphasized on values of Jesus Christ for businessmen and for Christians to wake up and embrace business. The event was sponsored by Kingdom Bank, a subsidiary of the Cooperative Bank of Kenya, Sitam Business Forum, which was launched on the 29th of February 2020, and chaired by DM Tanki, is an empowerment initiative by Sitam, which aims at empowering her members to prosper in their businesses for the glory of God.
Amen. The experience has been amazing. The planning was exceptional, very good. Everything has fallen in place. We have had a number of exhibitors. We have had the business people just meeting together for lunch. And generally it has gone very well. And the forum is about bringing together business people in a forum that will cause them to sharpen each other, to encourage each other, to build each other, to pray together, and above all, to support the work of the ministry.
What we are doing at Sitam with Sitam Business Forum is not turning the church where people come to do business and merchandise and such. But the idea is empowering Christians. In Sitam, we stand for what we call holistic ministry. Holistic ministry means that when somebody comes here and he is hungry, we need to find a way that he gets food to eat. And if somebody is outside there, and then he might not get as many potential business people, customers, but when we come here, we expose these people to him. So we expose customers, potential customers to them. Now, the business forum, and especially now the kind of thing we've done today, which is the exhibition, we do it just maybe once or so in a year. So once in a year for exposure, to expose our people to potential customers, to potential buyers and sellers, so that we connect, so that holistically we know as we deal and handle them the spiritual matter or spiritual life, we also take care of their holistic life, generally, socially, physically, and that they're all wholesomely handled.
From this forum, it was quite beneficial for us because it has given us an opportunity to showcase our products and also to interact with our customers, both existing and the potential customers. We believe that the partnership that we have with the Sitam is beneficial to both institutions, and going forward we even look for more opportunities where you can be able to partner as we strive to transform the lives of our church members and also our customers.
That is quite a great initiative. Now, moving on, the Anti-Counterfeit Authority has held a consultative meeting with members of the Kenya Association of Manufacturers Legal and Regulatory Committee on the planned implementation of the intellectual property rights system. The discussions, which are also attended by Ken Trade and the Kenya Bureau of Standards, centered on the progress of the intellectual property rights recordation system and resorted to the creation of a central database where all imported goods are recorded. This even as Kenya joins South Africa, Mauritius, and Algeria as the only countries in Africa to implement the intellectual property rights recordation system. Our very own Michelle Macau with more on the story.
Of course, we know the dangers of counterfeit goods. For example, we have health. If drugs are not exactly what they're supposed to be, then that way we affect the buildings that you're seeing going down. We don't know whether it is counterfeit goods that were used.
Kenya is among 4 other African countries which are implementing the intellectual property rights recordation. According to the Anti-Counterfeit Authority Chair Flora Mutahi, there are concerted efforts to reduce counterfeit products in the market. Already, a system is in place to record the country's intellectual property.
In terms of time,
Mutahi said the database is important since 70 to 80% of the goods sold in the country are counterfeits. This will also serve as a way to check if the products imported are genuine.
We record everybody's intellectual property. So if it is a brand, for example, I do the brand Melvin's, it is registered to so and so. So anybody trying to import that if you're not the registered importer, then you will not be able to bring in. This database is important for several reasons. Number one, we have a database. 2, the people who 70 or 80% of imported goods are counterfeit. I mean, when we look at the number of counterfeiters, A lot of the goods that come in, 70 or 80% are counterfeit.
We wish to ensure that whatever is being imported into this country is something that is genuine, so that we're able to protect the interest of Kenyan consumers, the interest of manufacturers themselves that are manufacturing goods in this country.
The executive director of the Anti-Counterfeit Authority, Mbugua Njoroge, said that they want to ensure that whatever is being imported in the country is genuine so that they are able to protect the interests of the Kenyan consumers and manufacturers. He added that ACA will continue to provide education and outreach to the industry players.
Process of applying for the various permits required for you to ensure that you meet the requirements of ACA are automated in the single window system.
Kentrade CEO David Ngarama said that they have a mandate of simplifying trade and have about 40 government agencies involved in the export and import process, which are all in the single window system. ACA's process will be under the single window system, which will make application of permits easier by just logging into the portal. He stated that they have automated from 14% of government agency export-import processes to about 95%.
Right now, we have about 40 government agencies involved in the export and import processes, and all their processes are in the single window system, which then means that if, for example, you need to make an importation and you need a permit from, for example, 3 government agencies, you log into our system and make that application online. Then the government agency from their end will log into the system and approve your application, which now means that you do not need to run up and down to various government agency offices.
The Kenya Association Manufacturers Chairman for Legal and Regulatory Committee, Rajan Malde, called for increased collaboration with government agencies. He also urged KEBS to leverage on capacity-building forums to enhance awareness on the various forms of illicit trade and counterfeiting in the country.
And create, they may be genuine, they may be for.
Michelle Macau, Hope TV Newswatch.
Thank you so much, Michelle, for that story. Now, the Central Organization of Trade Union Secretary General Francis Atwoli has clinched a 4th term as the Vice President of the International Trade Union Confederation. Atwoli was re-elected unanimously by over 2,000 delegates attending the ongoing 5th IUTC Congress in Melbourne, Australia. In a statement making the announcement, Kotu said Atwoli was also elected unopposed as the titular member of the General Council of the ITUC to represent the East Africa region after being proposed by delegates team from Tanzania and seconded unopposed by his colleagues in the region. And I&M Bank has posted a 7.1 billion shillings net profit in the 3rd quarter of 2022, a 24.1% growth from 5.7 billion shillings posted in the same period in 2021. During the period under review, the bank's balance sheet grew steadily, with total assets growing to 429 billion shillings from 399 billion shillings, while loans and advances grew by 11% to 231 billion shillings. The bank's chairman, Daniel Ndonye, attributed the profits to strategy and resilience amidst a heightened risky period in the global environment.
On the region, we are happy to report that we are seeing strong growth across our regional subsidiaries and seeing double-digit growth year on year. We have really been appreciative of the opportunity to grow our Pan-African reach, and we have seen especially the new entrant to the group, I&M Uganda, really posting some strong numbers. But taking them in turn, I&M Kenya posted a 30% increase in profit after tax, while I&M Bank Rwanda reported a 22% increase in profit after tax. In Tanzania, I&M Bank Tanzania recorded a profit after tax of Tanzania shillings 3.5 billion, which compares with 3.4 billion shillings that we saw in the 3rd quarter of 2021, a 3% year-on-year growth. In Uganda, which, as I said, is a new entrant to the group and has really been focused on the turnaround in the business, we have seen profit reported for the period, and that has come in at 6.5 billion shillings, Uganda shillings, for the period, which is commendable given that we had reported a loss last year at the same time.
And to some sporting action now. Andrian Monari of Kisii Sports Club was named the overall winner of the fourth leg of the DTB Bank With Us Golf Tournament held at the Par 27 Nyanza Golf Club in Kisumu County. Playing off handicap 22, Monari carried an excellent score of 40 points, beating his closest challenger engineer Potash Olo, playing off handicap 20.7, who carried that 7 stable 4 points in the golf tournament. The last leg of the series will be played at the Laureate Sports Club in December this year.
I think the fact that we have had a golf club here for so long means that it is an important part of Kisumu's sports culture. That's one. Secondly, we know that in terms of our plans for the growth of the lakefront, what we call the Lakefront Development Corporation, we really have included the golf course as part of that, because we would like to see a golf course which is not just for Kisumu people or Kenyan people, but a golf course which attracts people who play golf internationally, including those who are known to be winners of big golf competitions. They should come to Kisumu. The weather is good, the altitude is good, the people are friendly, and so on.
And to some football, the much-awaited FKF Premier League season has officially kicked off, with the majority of the clubs having had a fair time in preparations for the delayed league. KCB started the new season with a 1-0 win against Kenya Police FC in their season opener played at Kasarani Annex. KCB winger Michael Odor slotted in a loose volley in the 40th minute to give the Bankers a lead, which will be the only goal of the game to separate the two sides. KCB will face Kakamega Homeboys in the next fixture at the Utalii grounds, while Kenya Police take on Mathare United at Kasarani Stadium next week.
Kudos to the boys. They've really done well, because this is the first match of the season, and we've been out for a while. So at least you could see that there was some jitterness in their play in the first minutes of the game. But as the game grew, they displayed a very good game. Police today, they were pushing in the dying minutes because they were hoping that they could get something out of the pressure that they were trying to mount on our defense. But apparently we raised to the occasion and we managed to get the 3 points.
And another bittersweet story for football fans, more so for the Senegalese fans and Africans being part of that. And Qatar became the first host nation in history to lose their opening game of the World Cup as Ecuador cruised to a 2-0 victory over the host with Enna Valencia scoring twice in the tournament curtain raiser on Sunday. Now on Monday, England hammered Iran 6-2 in an emphatic thanks to 2 goals from Bukayo Saka and strikes by Jude Bellingham and Raheem Sterling, before substitute Marcus Rashford and Jack Grealish rounded off the route. In another fixture, Senegal have been beaten 2-0 by Netherlands. USA will take on Wales at 10 p.m. East African time. Well, quite a sad night for the African football fans. Anyway, that story brings us to the end of our news tonight. Many thanks to you for watching Hope TV News. On behalf of the whole crew that made this bulletin a success, have yourselves a good night. My name is Kennedy Kimani, and at the bottom right of your screen has been the very able sign language interpreter, Boniface Muredi.
irrigation.